So let's do some Nerf predictions for 1.6. I'm sure these are going to be great. So based on rank, both leaderboards, and the plethora of videos running around, here are my predictions for nerfs in the next patch. Gridwalkers, either upward thrust or energy adjusted? So you want to straight up nerf the Gridwalkers? Why? Gridwalkers are fine, man. I've used Gridwalkers on bipeds. They're aggressively balanced. However, the Lammerger 42F's higher energy consumption or lower weight limit. So, what I've noticed with the Lammergers is their stability is extremely high. Higher energy consumption, no. But nerf the stability on it and then possibly slow them down when they're in cruise mode. Because I think if they're in cruise mode, they got 400, maybe like 380 or something, but... I'll tell you what, I've been using those in ranked 3v3, and it's not really the most, it's not the most annoying thing out there anymore. Because you'll find, in 3v3s, you'll have other missile rats, and even if you're at 400 boost speed, you're still going to get pelted a little bit, so... It really depends. It really depends on loadouts. However, I would nerf their stability just a little bit. But we'll see. All reverse joint legs reduce kick damage. You know what? I haven't seen that many reverse joints at all. I haven't seen them. I have not seen them. Reduce kick damage. I don't know. But I have heard that the kick damage on tanks are insane. Maybe they need to reduce kick damage, but tank kicks are weird anyway, so I don't know. Reduce kick damage. I don't know. They did nerf kicks, so you can't just spam them anymore, so that should be good enough, to be honest. So far here, we see three supposed nerfs that I'm just not super on board with, besides nerfing the Lammergers, kind of. It really depends. Coral Missile Launcher, reduced tracking damage. Maybe tracking. Maybe. I don't know. They're weird weapons, man. Coral Missile Launchers, if you can whiff those pretty commonly on certain maps. They're so slow, all you have to do is find a building and fly around it. Or even a hill, man. So would I nerf Coral Missile Launchers? No. I honestly wouldn't. Vientos, slower projectile speed or reduced stagger or longer reload or some combination of the three. Okay, here we go. Vientos. I'm on board with this. Nerfing the Vientos. What I would do, longer reload? I don't know. I don't want to do heavy nerfs on a light weapon. You know what I mean? If anything, the one thing I would do, slower projectile speed? No. Reduce stagger. Definitely reduce stagger. I would just reduce the stagger, to be honest. I would reduce the stagger by 30 to 20%, something like that. At the same time, I would nerf the Zimmers and the LCBs. So those are the three culprits to me. And yeah, all three of those nerfs would be very healthy for the game, actually, to be honest. All right, let's continue this. Zimmermans. Reduced damage stagger again. Yeah, isn't that crazy that the Zimmermans were nerfed and they're still the strongest thing in the game? I think part of that is the fact that you can fire two of them, right? You can fire two at the same time. You can't do that with everything. You can't do that with Majestics. Could you imagine? So yeah, unfortunately for the uniqueness of the weapon, I do think, I don't know about damage, but stagger. Yes, I would nerf the stagger on Vientos and Zimmers. And then for the LCBs, I would make them slower, so you can't quick attack them if you have two. I would bounce the LCBs around the charge. You know what I mean? The charge would have to be the way you would take people down. That being said, the Zimmermans and the LCBs both have the same strategy. You want to shoot them both at the same time. So I really don't know how you can balance around for that. Yeah, not too sure. Interesting. Definitely let me know what you guys think in the comments. Okay, Gatling gun. Higher heat buildup. Stop. I'm not nerfing the Gatling gun at all. If anything, I'm buffing the... I'd buff the range just slightly. Just slightly. Just slightly. I would put the Gatling guns at similar range of the Zimmers, which I think they are already. Definitely not. Like, the higher heat buildup, that's crazy. You know what, if anything, for the Gatling guns, let's buff the reload speed. You heard me. I would buff the reload speed on the Gatling guns. Just to get them more in line with the meta. However, I would do it, like, let's say we nerf the Zimmerman by 10%, then the Gatling gun gets a 10% reload speed. It would have to be very similar. Stun guns. Reduce shock build up damage or slower ROF longer reload. Rate of fire. Okay, so the stun guns. I'm not convinced they're that good. I know it's crazy, but it's the damage buildup on it takes a long time. And they're kind of, I don't know. I wouldn't nerf them. I wouldn't buff them. I would maybe nerf the damage on the build-up, maybe. However, like, this is all considering that we're 100% nerfing tanks, right? So, because I feel like the build-up damage is not good against tanks, and since tanks are pretty meta, it's kind of like they're underwhelming. So, so I don't know. Stun guns. Let's leave them alone for now, but maybe nerf the damage in tantamount to the Zimmermans and LCBs getting nerfed. All point laser weapons reduce. All laser weapons. I don't know what point laser weapons mean, but reduce damage stagger, slower projectile speed, no shot. No. No. Have you ever dodged laser drones, man? They're like pretty easy to dodge. Slower projectile speed. I know they might not be considered point laser weapons or whatever, but they are some of the fastest laser weapons in the game, and they're pretty dodgeable. So, higher energy. No, there's only like one laser weapon that needs to be nerfed. It's the LCB. The LCB, again, I already talked about this, but I would nerf. I would basically nerf the amount you can fire it in rapid succession, basically. Oh my god. All missiles reduce tracking or longer reload or shorter lock distance. Okay. Look, the issue with missile rats are mostly their ability to just pelt you and then run away. It's not about the missiles per se. It's mostly about the fact that they can boost speed away and cheese. So you nerf the parts they cheese with. You don't nerf the missiles. Missiles are so, like, okay. They're only good with super long-range builds. I gotta be honest, this is like 2 for 7 on nerf predictions here. Like Vientos and Zimmermans and LCBs. Those are all must nerf weapons. But even the LCBs get instantly replaced by like ear shots or LCSs or the triple laser. Like the LCBs aren't really alone in how strong they are for what they are. But whatever. Yeah, no, I'm not reducing missile. I'm not nerfing a single missile launcher, man. They're all just pretty good. It's the tetrapod lightweights that are just running away, or the builds that are shooting missiles and then turning around and not quick boosting, assault boosting all the way over to the other side of the map. That sort of stuff is the things that need to be nerfed. But like I don't know. I wouldn't want to say that I want to nerf boosts, but the only builds that really use it in like an effective way, they cheese it. So I don't know. The Zimmerman builds, they just boost right up to you and Zimmerman you down. So if we, I don't know. That's tough balance, man. That is tough balance. But no, I'm not. Okay, so just to reiterate, not nerfing the missiles, nerfing LCBs, not nerfing stun guns. I mean, I'll nerf their build-up damage, I guess, maybe. Not nerfing Gatling guns, nerfing Zimmers, nerfing Vientos, not nerfing Corals, not nerfing Reverse, nerfing the stability on Lammergers. Gridwalker, definitely not nerfing. What a nut. This guy clearly plays on the ground a lot. Whatever. Okay, let's see what people think about this. These are pretty awful nerf suggestions, but there are some good ones here that we can discuss in the comments, of course. Viento projectile speed is the same as most guns in the game. It's actually on the slower side. Sure, but don't they like burst? They like or something like that. I'm not sure. That's interesting. Yeah, but like I said, I wouldn't nerf their projectile speed anyway. It's kind of a silly thing to do. Viento range? Nerf? Okay, interesting. Well, you know, hey, that's something to consider, I guess. Coral missiles are fine, but I think they'll fix the flight pattern, maybe? The last one always seems like it stopped to tie its shoe and gets there 2 seconds after the first ones you dodge. Yeah, it's an awkward weapon, for sure. It's an incredibly awkward weapon. That's why I recommend trying to find things to have it, like, hit into, like a wall or something. But, yeah, I don't know. That's a funny note, for sure. They need to nerf the VP shoulder pulse shield. Its initial guard damage reduction is nuts. That's interesting. I only ran into one. I ran into one. I guess it was against one of the like best players on PC. He was using a kiting pulse shield build. I don't know if I nerfed it though. It kind of hard countered me. Because you can just like quick boost in there, can't you? And at the time I was using a slower build, so it's easier to like kite and just make shields around me. However, I gotta be honest, I only had one fight with it. So I'm not too sure if I would nerf it. Maybe nerf the amount of time, because they were spamming it, to be honest. Now that I think about it, they were kind of spamming it. I think it should be well placed. It shouldn't be spammable. So if that's considered a nerf, I'm actually going to consider that more of like, it's not really intended to just spam shields, because that's kind of garbage game design, as we've seen with shield spam in Overwatch 2. Nobody likes that. People want to play the game. Both sides want to play the game. So if you catch yourself spamming something, you're not actually playing the game. You're just pressing one button. And at the same time, the shields need a purpose. And these shields specifically feel like they need to be more well placed, because you can just like shoot it and then play around it or whatever. I don't know. Maybe reduce the amount of, maybe either make it a slightly longer cooldown or reduce the amount of shields they can deploy. Sure. I still feel silly for nerfing it though, to be honest. But again, it's more of like an intended mechanic thing rather than this thing is too strong. It's like it's only really too strong if you use it too often, I guess, or if you spam it, basically. I think maybe just the Viento, Zimmerman, and the various heavy laser weapons we need looking at, and the netcode, of course. Yeah, don't hold your breath on the netcode. Viento, yes. Zimmerman, yes. Various heavy weapons. In my experience, the only laser weapon that has seemed exceedingly powerful has been the LCBs. The LCSs lined up perfectly with where the meta was, and they're dodgeable. The LCBs have a really insane... If we're also, by the way, if we're nerfing the LCBs, we should nerf the triple laser weapons as well, because I think they're just as abusable. However, it really depends, because the thing is, the laser weapons are on attacker side, so if they attack you at a certain spot, even if you dodge it on your screen, on their screen, you're getting hit registered. So I think a lot of that is a confusion on how that actually works. So people are dodging them and are thinking, oh, I dodged these, what crap bugged weapons? And it's more the netcode. It's more about the netcode there. However, I do think LCBs need to be slowed down a little bit. As far as every other heavy laser weapon, I do not see them at high ranks, so no. They are incredibly dodgeable, even with the netcode. However, Zimmermans, Vientos, LCBs definitely need an adjustment for sure. For sure. Honestly, all I feel the Lammerger legs need to. Sorry, hold on. All I feel the Lammerger legs need and to have it hover speed cut. I have no idea. This is just bad grammar. Yeah, the hover speed needs to be nerfed, I guess, a little bit. For them to be easily reaching 400 at the top of the map is far too much. Yeah, 400 is pretty ridiculous, I guess. I don't know. I still think their stability is a little crazy, but yeah, we can nerf their hover speed a bit. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. I don't know. They're really only good as missile rats. Yeah, because they're too... See, the thing is about those legs is they're too horrible in close range. In close range, you're getting eaten alive. The stability... The issue I have with the stability is when you're chasing them. So, I don't know. I guess we're saying the same thing in a sense. Yeah, not bad.